everybody here. Thank you very much indeed for coming out, supporting Joyette, supporting FWD to celebrate this incredible achievement. So many, many thanks to our friends from the media. I've been asked to say a few words just to wrap things up, and I'm trying to think of what I really can say, because in between Joyette's very eloquent articulation of all the events that transpired, I guess, leading up to, during and post the event, great questions and answers from the media and from the rest of from Rosh and more. But there are a couple of things, I guess. First of all, I mean, well done.
Yes.
I mean,
well done, well done.
Just well done. I've never run a marathon, but I have done a bit of running in my life, and I know how hard long distance is. And I mean, to do it in, as you said, in another part of the world, with conditions that really are beyond anything I think that any of us have ever experienced, which brings a whole new element to the challenges of doing extreme sports, extreme endurance sports. It's not to be underestimated, and I have a small story to share with you. I mean, you are absolutely fearless, and I think what you did in terms of taking on this challenge, dealing with all of the things that geopolitics and stuff like that throws at us, shows a resilience as well. But you are one tough cookie. I know this. So last week I was in Hong Kong, and I happened to have a cup of coffee with Rob. And Rob is a pretty decent athlete, as you know, right? Rob is our Chief Operating Officer, has done, I think, plenty of marathons. I think he's done an Ironman as well. And he's a pretty top-class amateur athlete. And he's very competitive. He's very driven. And, obviously, we'll come on in a minute, because I do want to thank everybody for the sort of pivoting spectacularly that they did and they were able to achieve. But Rob was telling me that this was brutal, right? I mean, he was saying this is brutal. And as Joyette, I think, said, it's kind of a circuit. So was it 4 circuits you did? There were 4 circuits. And you started slowly, which is, I think, the smart thing to do. Anyway, what Rob said to me was, he was hurting, but he still felt pretty good going into that 4th and final circuit. And he felt pretty confident that he was going to be able to retain his pace and his position in the race. And then he said out the corner of his eye, he saw you. You was the way. And he said, I looked at her face, I looked at Joyette's face, and I knew I was in trouble. And I think he was a fair bit ahead of you going into that 4th leg. And he just said, his admiration for you, for that final sort of, kind of grit and guts and determination, because the back end of a marathon, even if it's in familiar territories, forget about running in the heat of the Philippines. If you're running in somewhere quite nice, like, mid-Europe, it's hard. That last bit when you kind of hit that wall, I think often people say about 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers, it's brutal. I mean, you just dug deep, and clearly you knew what you wanted to achieve, not just to win the women's race, but to almost win the men's race as well. So, I mean, it's absolutely tremendous, and I'd like everybody to, you made yourself proud, you made FWD proud, and you certainly made the Philippines proud. So.